I care so much about this because it seriously is so freeing. This feeling of like coming home to your own self. Welcome back to She Awakened, the podcast with your host, Stormy. Welcome back, my love. If you couldn't tell, if you're watching on YouTube, for tuning in from YouTube, my surroundings have changed because I have been a little manifesting busy bee over these last few weeks, and I am coming to you live recording this from my new home, from my new office in my new home, and so exciting to be here and to change up the background. So anyways, I won't go too much into that, but welcome. And this episode, I want to sit down with you and talk about the chakras. I have so many women in my audience, more and more, who are just getting curious about the chakras, wanting to learn about them. And hands down, the chakra system has been the thing that has been, I know it's cliche to say, but like just so life-changing for me. So I want to talk to you about chakra alchemy, which you may or may not have heard of before, because it is a term that I have coined. It is a modality that I have created. So in this episode, we're gonna go deep into what the chakras are, how your chakras become blocked and unblocked, and how to use your chakras to manifest. So that part of it is pretty exciting and pretty juicy and is 110% going to up your manifestation game and the way in which you live, playing more full out at this game that is life. So, what are the chakras? First of all, chakra alchemy is, like I said, it's actually a modality that I've created. So it's a term that I've coined from my own experience working with the chakras, receiving this crystal clear download when I was journeying with Shakti energy, crystal clear, like chakra alchemy just came through. This is the medicine that you need to be sharing with other women. This is the foundation of the transformation that you are here to create. So the chakras, I have recorded podcasts on this before, but it has been a hot minute, and I love the chakras and I work and talk about the chakras so much. And so I'm like, why have I not we need to be talking about the chakras more on the podcast. So the chakras are a system for energy in your body, in your energetic body. They are the system made up of wheels, is what you could call them, that channels energy through your body. And so when I say energy, I mean life force energy, aka prana or chi, are a few different names for it. And chakra, the word chakra, is a Sanskrit term meaning wheel. Literally just means wheel, as in it's a spinning disc that moves energy through your body. So we have many chakras in our energetic body, but we have 7 main chakras, and I personally work with the 7 main chakras. And so see it as you have a physical body, right? This body that you are sitting here or walking or, driving in the car inside of. And then we actually have many other bodies. We've got the energetic body is the body that we're going to talk about here with the chakras. And so your chakras live in this energetic body, and imagine that it's like your aura just outside of your body. And sometimes I like to do, there's a few different exercises that I like to do with people to actually feel and connect with your energetic body, but just see it as your aura. And I kind of liken the chakra system to like the blood system, imagining that, well, connecting with the fact that your blood vessels in your physical body carry blood through your body. And you wouldn't essentially survive without this blood and the life force that comes with it, the oxygen, moving through your body. If there are blockages in your blood vessels, in your arteries, maybe arteriosclerosis, atherosclerosis. I really pulled that out of my like PE knowledge from high school. Atherosclerosis. Then obviously you're gonna have some freaking problems, right? If your blood isn't moving through your body, organ failure, disease, illness, etc., etc., you get the gist. And so imagine that your chakra system is very similar, where if there are blockages in the system, in the channel, then you're going to find that there are blockages in your life. Like there is a cause and effect to that. There is a consequence to that. So when I first started learning about the chakras a few years ago, it was just like a light bulb went off over me, and it was like such a resonance in my body where every part of my body and my being and my soul was just like, you need to discover your chakras. You need to work on your chakras. And since then, I'm still just as passionate and can say how much it has changed my life. So let's actually talk about like what blocks your chakras, what that means, and why working on your chakras therefore is so powerful, and you know what it actually can do for you. So considering that your chakra system is the home for your life force energy, just see it as like what makes you alive is that life force energy. And I've said this before. If you've heard me say this before, you'll know this, but I often say that what is the difference between you here alive listening to this and a corpse, if there was one next to you? It's the life force energy. That is what is running through your body, through your being, through your vessel, and not in theirs. Because they're still a body right now, they still have a brain inside of them, they still have a mind. But why isn't their mind alive? Why isn't their body actually alive? It's because there is no life force energy. And so many people are walking around in life, yes, walking around, and yes, alive, but not with the full capacity of life force energy. And suffering the consequences of that, not feeling as alive, almost walking around on autopilot in that zombie sort of mode, and yet it's normalized. And I feel like this when I look back, that's kind of how I felt before discovering my chakras. Was almost like I was so used to the way that I was living that I didn't see a problem with it, because you don't know what you don't know, right? If that's your only reality, then that is reality. But when I look back, that's sort of how it feels like, is like I was just doing things in that sort of motion on that hamster wheel, half conscious but not fully. And the chakras were that sort of key to shift me into actually really living my dream life, not just wondering about it and pondering on it and seeing other people doing it and wishing I could do it, but actually damn living it, doing it, and consistently sort of evolving and upgrading within that. Because living your dream life isn't just something that you do once and then you're living your dream life. Like, it's a devotion. It's about living your dharma, and your dharma is always evolving. Your understanding of your dharma is always evolving. Your sense of how you show up is always evolving. Life is always evolving, right? Things are always changing, and you have to be willing to dance with that, to shift with that, to ebb and flow with that. So of course, you living your dream life is always ever evolving. And if things shift, you gotta be willing to then meet life halfway and shift with it. And so in an ideal world, your chakra system is open and flowing. So the 7 main discs, the wheels, the chakras themselves, are open and the energy is moving through them. And yet what happens is that when it's blocked, it's sort of like see it as like almost like dust is just clogging up that wheel and it can't spin. It's not moving. And Chakra Alchemy is about unclogging it, healing these blockages, and reopening it so that the life force energy can do what it's supposed to do and flow through you and create more flow, create more momentum within your life. and consequently unblock the related areas of your life. So I think that it's going to be in your best interest if I go through each of the chakras so that you can actually understand them better, because the system as a whole relates to your energy, your life force, and each of the chakras themselves links into a related area of your life. And I love the chakras, and this is why they are the foundation of the coaching work that I do, the healing work that I do, because if you work on them, they link to every area of your life. Because there's 7 of them, you're covering all the bases, basically. That's why I swear by this, is because you're not just doing one thing and then there's, all these other fucking things that you haven't actually looked at yet or worked on. It's like the one-stop shop for every aspect, every dimension of your life. So from the bottom, understanding that your chakras live in your spine, the 7 main ones that we're talking about. So they start and they move up the spine. So the base chakra, the root chakra, is at the base of your spine, and it is all about survival, essentially. And you can actually you can relate, sorry, I should say, to the chakras as portals to a higher consciousness, is what I like to say, and relate to it. Because if you start, for example, with your root chakra, which is all about survival, and you're working on healing these survival-based patterns, then you're naturally, within that, going to move from just living in survival mode to then living in creator mode, which is going to take you into your sacral chakra, which is all about creation and your divine feminine and your sexuality. And it's like each one, you then actually get to raise your consciousness, essentially. And so going through them, like I was starting to do before I got sidetracked, the root chakra is, your sense of safety and survival. And most people don't ever make it past the root chakra, because that is the world that we live in. This is the world that so many of us have been brought up in. It's to simply survive, to get by, to make it, to keep your head above water. To just, it sort of like feels like this hamster wheel, just getting by and just surviving. And working on this and unblocking this, like I was saying, really frees you from just living in survival, where your fear responses have almost become part of your personality, inverted commas personality. I'm just a defensive person, I'm just an anxious person, I'm just a shy person. Oh no, I could never do things like that. Because you're actually living in the survival response of fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. Which so many people do, like people pleasing, right? Is fawn. That is actually a fear response of I don't feel safe, and so I need to fawn so that they like me, so that they're not mad at me, so that I stay safe. And all of this is unconscious for the most part. It's unconscious until you make it conscious, until you bring awareness to it. And so, like I was saying, it's liberating as fuck when you heal this root chakra, because it links into your money, it links to your home life, it links to your relationships, it links to your work, it links to your health. The root chakra is probably the most diverse because it kind of links to everything, because your sense of safety in life and in your body, in your work, in your money, in your home is the foundation for everything else. So you could spend months working on your root chakra, maybe even years, because that is what then allows you to actually experience the transformation and the liberation in the other areas, with the other chakras. Because if you get too excited and you try and just go straight up to the crown chakra, for example, your higher self, then you don't have the anchor, you don't have the roots and the grounding to actually stay and hold that. Imagine it's like a tree that just has little pissant sort of roots that don't go very far down the earth, and then a big storm comes and the tree blows over, right? Because it didn't have good roots, didn't have a good foundation. So working your root chakra is kind of like that, where you're just putting these roots down and creating real safety from within your body, your nervous system, and your sense of self and your unconscious. And that is what allows you to then weather any of the storms that come with so much more ease and so much more just openness, right? So, root chakra, survival. Moving up the spine is the sacral chakra. So it's 2 centimeters below your belly button. And it is related to your sexuality, your creativity, and as a woman, your divine feminine essence. So it's very much sex related. Your sexuality, your connection to sex, your connection to your sexual, part of your body, your organs, your reproductive system, your hormonal system within that, your yoni, as I like to call the female parts, the yoni, your vagina, and obviously your yoni being your womb as well. And really within that, your creativity. So it's kind of diverse, right? But yeah, your openness to life, your sense of creation, being in creative mode where you are actively manifesting and creating life on your terms. And there's really this sense of power within that, like real power, because when you think about it, especially as women, I'm speaking to women through this message on this podcast, my audience, my community, realizing that the yoni, like your womb as a woman, or if you identify as a woman, if you have a womb space, you have the ability to bring life into this world. And that is the ultimate creative energy. Like creating a human out of nothing is the ultimate life force creative energy. And when you orgasm, that is the ultimate life force energy. Because that is what creates life. Yeah? And so healing this chakra is really about tapping into that and embodying that consistently, embodying your creative power, embodying your divine feminine essence, and really owning your sexuality and your sensuality. And part of why I really resonate and love the chakras so much, and I've created Chakra Alchemy, is because it's really like a grounded modality and a grounded, I guess, like spiritual tool that brings you back to your body, at least the way I teach it, and hold space for it. Because so much of healing and opening your chakras is about coming home to your body, healing your nervous system, feeling safe again in your body, and like seeing how these all link, right? If you don't feel safe in your body and you're stuck in the root chakra being blocked, then you're not going to then feel safe in your sexuality. You're just not. It's awful, it's uncomfortable, it's painful, it's embarrassing, it's awkward, it's, whatever. It's not an empowered, embodied experience, because at the core of it, in your body, in your nervous system, you're still stuck in a fear response. For example, freeze, right? And so they so link, and it's all connected. It really is. So that's the sacral. And I did forget to mention the colors. So the root chakra is red, sacral chakra is orange. So moving up then to the solar plexus, which is just at the base of your rib cage. I love solar plexus energy. I relate to the solar plexus as wild woman energy, where it's this like reclamation of just you're wild, you're powerful, you're confident, you're like no fucks given, just this is me, this is what I desire, this is my expression, this is my voice, this is what I want. Just like ownership of yourself, feeling confident in who you are, in your body, in what you do and how you do it, and your worth. Really just like, this is my value. And when this is blocked, very much a lot of the time you'll find that there's this real sense of outsourcing your confidence, where when things are good in life, you'll feel good, but when things, even a tiniest bit, show that they're not so great, you feel that. And there's this real drain and this real sense of disempowerment. You know, if you receive a funky text from a friend and it sounds like they're mad at you, instantly high alert, anxious, what have I done wrong? What are they thinking about me? Into that fear response. And it's like giving your power away to someone or something else. Maybe that's with a friend, maybe that's with a boss, maybe that's with your parents, or one of them in particular, maybe that's even with a partner, right? Where it's like sort of living in this state of how I feel depends on how they treat me, or depends on what's happening with work, or depends on what's happening with life, where your confidence is in the hands of someone or something else. And so it's just liberating. It really is freeing when you do work on opening your solar plexus, because it really moves you from that good girl archetype of just pleasing and doing what you think you should do and trying to play it safe and be nice and be pleasant and be happy all the time and not ruffle anyone's feathers and trying to be perfect. Really fucking trying to be perfect. To then moving into, like I was saying, the wild woman of just like roaring a little bit and expressing yourself and not giving so many damn fucks. And it's yellow, the solar plexus. And you might find that when your solar plexus needs some love, needs some attention, needs some healing, you feel that anxiety in your stomach. You feel this tightness, this clenching, this almost like there's a rock in your tummy. And that's just your solar plexus saying, I've got a blockage here. Can we do something about this? Because your body is so wise, your body is so smart, it will always try and get your attention. You'll often feel it when a chakra is blocked. Physically, you will feel it. So, moving up to the heart chakra, which is typically green, but it's the only one that also has another color, which is pink. But traditionally it is actually green. And so in the center of your chest, the heart chakra is really all about your sense of your connection to love and compassion. So this relates to, obviously, first and foremost, yourself, your own self-love, your own self-worth, your concept of yourself, and the value that you place of yourself in this world. And that also then links into your love and connection with other people as well. How open you are to intimacy, to vulnerability, to connecting with humans, whether that's friends, romantically, family. It's really just governing your relationships. And when that's blocked, you'll find that in so many ways it's just like this, almost like just this inhibitance, this just resistance, this like wall that feels like it's protecting your heart but stopping you from opening and being vulnerable, where you just struggle to actually like let yourself be seen as you are, let yourself be heard as you are. Intimacy makes you anxious, or you've just got a hard wall, nope, not going there right now. And within yourself there's a lot of comparison and negativity and second guessing yourself, and in lots of ways just judging yourself, and perhaps seeing, like, imagining that other people are judging you, perceiving that other people are judging you, when in reality that's just you judging yourself and projecting that judgment onto other people, because that's how the ego works, that's how the mind works. So working on healing and opening your heart is, in so many ways, they're all so important. In so many ways, it's one of my favorite feelings, that just like cracking open to life, and not just cracking open to the good feelings, because that can be a big reason why the heart chakra is blocked, is because you're only willing to feel the high vibe, good, happy feelings, when your heart is asking to just open to all of it, to be open to life, because you didn't come to life to just experience one side of it. You came to life as a spirit having a human experience to experience the duality of it, to really just be cracked open to that. and the level of connection that brings, and like the service within that, wanting to be of service to other people, wanting to make an impact on other people, wanting to really connect with other people deeper. It's just so beautiful. It really is. I can just feel this like softness that's just settled over me as I'm talking about the heart chakra, because that's like, to me, what it feels like. It's just like this soft, warm, yummy sort of energy. And moving up is the throat chakra. So it's blue, and in the middle of your throat, it really just relates to your level of authentic expression, using your voice, your real, authentic, true voice, not just saying, what you think you should say, not just doing what is sort of expected of you and following along these lines of how other people see you and expect you to show up, but really using your voice. And sometimes that's messy, sometimes that is ugly, sometimes that is inconvenient, but really speaking your truth. And part of this also relates to speaking your truth in terms of like your message. Like, why are you here? Why are you here on this planet at this time? What do you care about? What do you give a shit about? What have you experienced that lights a passion and a fire inside of you? Sharing that message with other people, whatever that may be. There are many different parts of that will make up your message, but really sharing it and opening your voice in that way. And so if this chakra is blocked, you'll feel it. Like, there's the physical 100%. It's like whatever it is, like sore throats often, coughing often, physical, just like a tightness, like a constriction that you'll feel in your throat, which might be random, but a lot of the time will always be when you have something to say, perhaps in conflict with a friend or family or partner, and you just can't get it out. You're struggling to get it out. Or you feel this real block to even getting to that point where you just quiet, you just hang back, don't say the things, just play it safe by not saying anything so that I don't ruffle anyone's feathers. But at the end of the day, no matter what, you feel that heaviness of, I didn't speak my truth. And perhaps can create some guilt, some regret, because there's no release. Like, that energy, those emotions, that truth inside of you isn't getting the release that it needs in order for you to then let go of it. It's just like, it's almost just like bottling up inside of you. And in particular, if you struggle to actually express your feelings with other people and be seen in that, the throat chakra and the heart chakra are the two that are 110% blocked because of that. And like I was saying, all of, like with the throat chakra in particular, you'll feel this physically, but all of the chakras, you will see and you will feel and you will hear these niggles of like, ooh, need some healing, need some love, need some work on it, because physically there'll be a symptom of it. For example, in the root chakra, you'll find that it's your legs and your bowels and your lower back that when there's dis-ease, when there is pain, when there is, especially when it's unexplainable, you've gone to the doctors or you've done your own research and you're like, I don't know why I'm having this problem. What is it? Why can no one tell me the problem? What the heck is it? A lot of the time that is just your body's way of like portraying and manifesting the blocked energy in the chakra. So root chakra, legs, bow, lower back. Sacral chakra is your womb space, your hormonal system, reproductive system, your yoni, that part of you in your lower back, around like above, but like still the lower back region. Your solar plexus is your digestive system, your stomach, your gut health, and the higher back, and obviously the stomach over here as well. Heart chakra is the chest and the shoulders. Throat makes sense, right? And then now we're moving up into the third eye chakra. So the third eye is really just your sense of intuition. connecting with your inner voice, your inner wisdom, that like almost sentient part of you that just knows, and there are layers and depths to all of them, and this one in particular, you can very much go a lot deeper into like the psychic realm and channeling and the different clairsentient, clairvoyant, etc., different clairs, which I don't go super deep into. It's simply not my forte. It's not something that I really resonate with, but it's really just your connection to that part of you that knows. And when your third eye is blocked, in particular, you'll struggle to actually trust in yourself, struggling to trust in your intuition. Where you might hear it, you might hear those niggles or hear the whispers or do this or don't do that, but it's not solid, right? You're kind of wobbly in that, where you'll ignore it and you'll do it, and then you'll be like, damn, I didn't trust myself and I should have. Or you'll do it, but the whole time you're doubting yourself. Like, it's not like solid. There's just this lack of trust. Or you might find that you don't even hear anything. It's sort of radio silence. Like, what the fuck is my intuition and how do I connect with it? Because I don't have that. Where there's this cloudiness. In particular, the third eye relates to your vision in life, your vision for why you are here, where you are going, what matters to you and your values. And again, if the third eye is blocked, then you'll find that that vision of, what your dream life even is and why you're here and what your dharma is, it feels blurry. When you're like lost in that place of like, what am I even doing with my life? A lot of the time, it's the third eye. And physically, symptoms can show up as headaches in particular, or within your eyes. And then the last chakra at the top is the crown. And the crown really is your connection to a higher consciousness, to source, to your higher self, to your spiritual connection, to the divine. And so when that's blocked, you'll find that it kind of feels like it's just you going through life yourself alone. Whereas when this is open and when you are connected, it's you in the universe, or it's you in source, it's you in the divine, it's you in God. It's like, it's not just you as this little lowly human. It's you co-creating your life with the divine, with source. Like, that is your spiritual connection, your spiritual relationship. And part of that is, of course, your higher self. Knowing that there is your ego and your higher self. And part of this is really accepting that, like, your ego is a part of you. You're never going to be rid of your ego or kill your ego. It's just not possible. Ego exists to keep you alive. So as long as you're alive, your ego is going to be here journeying with you. But when this chakra is blocked, your ego is the one in the driving seat very much. Living in a fear state of survival, of protection, of keeping yourself safe, of very much like just me, needs-based, taking care of myself, Whereas when this is open and when you're really connected and when you are experiencing life as your higher self, you're really connected with the like, I am, like, we are, like, the union of life, the fact that we're all energy, we're all made up of the same stuff, we are all connected, and at the very core of it is just life force energy. And what makes up the universe is what makes up you. And very, very just deeply trusting and anchored in faith. Like, I see it as when the crown chakra is blocked, fear is leading. Fear of what you don't want, fear of, I don't want to be here, so let me get away from here, fear of focusing on all things that might go wrong, that might be bad. It's just like fear state, survival. Whereas moving into the open crown chakra is moving from a place of faith, because faith is the antidote to fear. It really is. Where you just know and trust that, of course, life is working out in your favor. Of course, things happen for you. And reaching that point and then being consistently in that point, because it's not just one and done, right? It's a devotion. it's the last chakra when the way I teach it, because all of the other ones are really accumulating and getting you to that point of actually being able to have the capacity to see life that way, not being stuck in the, yeah, but this happened to me, and yeah, this is hard, and the negativity and the overwhelm, but actually being able to rise higher and see life from that clearer, more positive, soul-led place. And so part of the crown chakra really is a massive, massive part of it is your dharma. Dharma also being a Sanskrit term, which really just means your life's purpose, your soul's purpose. And the chakra alchemy, working on through your chakras, healing and opening your chakras, is such a huge key for you to live your dharma. Because what's stopping you from living your dharma is the imprints and the blockages in your unconscious, in your nervous system, and in your chakra system. And they are all linked. So what blocks your chakras is trauma, undigested life experience, and your conditioning. Trauma being a scale. You've got little t trauma, you've got big T trauma, you have different types of trauma. You've got acute trauma, which is the trauma that happens one time but is quite significant, but it's not repetitive. You know, abuse that happens one time, war, seeing something really, horrifying happening. Developmental trauma it develops over time, but specifically whilst you're in childhood in that developmental phase. Generational trauma that's passed down, collective trauma, ancestral trauma. There's lots of different types of trauma, and trauma is, in essence, part of the human experience. Whether you relate to having trauma, whether you know your trauma or you don't, it is part of the human experience. And take it from someone like, I never used to think that I had experienced trauma. And yet, when I started to actually pull back the layers and look at myself and dig and go into my childhood, the more that I realized, like, oh fuck yeah, like I definitely have plenty of little t trauma and developmental trauma, because that is part of the spiritual journey, is actually experiencing that and then finding your way back home, because trauma really creates a warped sense of self and a warped sense of life that is really in survival mode. Undigested life experience is like, not so much, you wouldn't say that it's traumatic, but it left an imprint. You saw something, you heard something that just made you stop and like, oh, and it left that imprint. For example, hearing your parents repeatedly say things about how stressed they are because of money. You might not resonate with that being traumatic, but that's an undigested life experience that created this imprint of money is stressful, money is hard, money is a problem. I don't have enough money, there's never enough money, it's never enough. Yeah, it's an undigested life experience. And then conditioning, again, is like the environment that you grew up in, what was normal to you as a child growing up, because when you are a kid growing up, in particular between 0 and 8, you are a sponge, and whatever you experience is just like reality, right? It's like, this is just what life is. If you're sheltered in a certain way, if you think about a kid who grows up and they're not allowed a phone, they don't know that social media exists. Like, what's Instagram, what's TikTok? They don't have that to even know about that. And so their version of reality is that doesn't exist. It's not real, because they've never actually been exposed to it. And there's so many ways that is relevant, where the way that you grew up, the conditioning that you received around what's normal and what's not, and what's right and what's wrong, and what's good and what's bad, then shapes you in so many ways. Like, for example, just take like your relationship to your body. If your conditioning is that sex is taboo, talking about sex it's bad, it's wrong, it's not okay, then of course that is going to shape your relationship with sex and with your body, and potentially block your sacral chakra and your expression and your ownership of your body and your sexual energy. And you may or may not have trauma in that. You may still within that, but even if you don't, the conditioning is still like, this is bad and this is good, this is okay and this is not, like, these are what the rules are here. I kind of see conditioning as rules, right? that you then live by, even as an adult, unconsciously, because you're like, well, this is just how it is. Like work, for example. If your conditioning growing up with work is that you just have to work really hard, you saw your parents work really hard and drill into the importance of working really hard, you may or may not associate that with being traumatic, but the imprint of that conditioning is then you as a woman, as an adult, so deeply in your masculine, hustling and working and grinding and just burning out and exhausting yourself and so tired because work is something that I have to do. Why? Well, that's the conditioning. That's the imprint that I received growing up. That's what was reinforced into me. So there's so many different ways that that can play out, and everyone's experience, everyone's journey is so different, so unique. But it's that imprint, because trauma leaves an imprint, undigested life experience leaves an imprint, conditioning leaves an imprint. It is that imprint that is left in your nervous system and in your chakras. And that imprint, again, a Sanskrit term for that is actually samskara. And I love this word, samskara. It really just means an imprint left on you that shapes you and shapes your life. And these kind of samskaras, the way that they can really fuck with you so much is because you come to believe that this is just who I am. For example, root chakra, conditioning around working really hard. You come to believe it's like a part of my personality that I'm a driven, hardworking, overachieving perfectionist. No, that's not who you are. That is who you learnt to be. That is how your body learnt to adapt in order to survive and fit in. You know, oh, I'm just a shy, anxious person and I just hate conflict. No, that's not who you are. That's who you learnt to be in order to survive. Because of the experiences you've had, the things you've witnessed, the generational trauma passed down, the state that your unconscious and that your nervous system found itself into. So many times, so much of the time, you actually identify with and as the trauma response. Fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. Fawn, oh, I'm just a people pleaser. No, baby, you're not. That's just a fear response. Oh, I'm just, I just hate public speaking and being the center of attention, and I just freeze up and, struggle to, I'm just always the quiet one. I'm never the loud one. No, that's not who you are. That's just a freeze response. Right? You get what I'm saying? Like, Chakra Alchemy is so empowering, so liberating, so healing, because it actually allows you to let go of these imprints and these beliefs and these ways of living and playing small and diluting yourself and putting yourself into this box that isn't actually your truth and isn't actually serving you and isn't your dharma. It's not why you're here. And it actually allows you to live from this state of real embodied truth of this is who I am. And there is a love and a peace and joy that comes with that nothing else provides you in life. It's not about what you get where you live, just manifesting the next thing and the next thing. It's like, how do you live? How do you feel within yourself on a general basis? When you look in the mirror, when you fall asleep at night. I'm emotional as I'm saying this. I'm just like, I just give so much of a shit. I said that weird, but like, I just give so much. I care so much about this because it seriously is so freeing. This feeling of like coming home to your own self. Realizing that you're not the things that other people have said. You're not those people that bullied you. You're not your work. You're not your body. You're not what's happened to you. You're not your trauma. You're not what your family think that you are, who they think you are. You are whoever the fuck you want to be. You are powerful. You are brave. You are courageous. You are loving. You are kind. You are empowered. You are sexual and sensual and confident and loving and peaceful and free. Like, you are everything that you want to be, everything that you envy in someone else lives inside of you. It's just through doing this healing work, this reprogramming, that you get to come home to that. So if I haven't already planted the seed enough, then let me just give you one last piece around why Chakra Alchemy is so powerful, is that working on your chakras really easily, effortlessly becomes a powerful manifestation tool. Because the reason why you block a manifestation, block something that you desire from being your reality, is often because of a blockage in your chakra, right? Just take heart chakra, for example. If you have a blockage around love and connection and intimacy with someone else, and you're over here craving and longing for a romantic relationship or a soul sister friendship, the reason why it's not manifesting, the reason why it's not yours, is because of that blockage in your chakra, that imprint that you're still carrying from the past, those unconscious beliefs, the unconscious programming that is creating this reality, not that. So when you shift this and heal this from within what you can control, which is you, your unconscious, your chakras, your frequency shifts. You're not carrying the same baggage anymore. Your field becomes more open, and manifestation becomes something that is so much more effortless and magnetic and natural and fun. Because that's just the frequency you're in. Because what drives any manifestation is being a vibrational match. And so before, you were looking for, the one, looking for a relationship, but with this energy, with this vibration of, oh, I don't want to get hurt again, and I'm never good enough, and they always treat me like shit, and fuck men, and fuck guys, and just like, oh, but I really want them, and I just want to be loved, and it's just like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not this grounded, open, loving energy. It's actually a little bit hurt and sad and desperate and longing, which is repelling to what you want. So heal that, you shift that, you manifest that, right? Take solar plexus. Healing the part of you that gets anxious about being in the spotlight, that gets anxious and doubts yourself and gets, like resistant and like and withdraws and gets wobbly and second guesses yourself. Healing that part of you, healing that within your chakra, is going to open you up to opportunities within your work in particular, right? To help you thrive within your work, because you have the confidence, you have the stature, you have the belief and the knowing that, of course, this gets to be my life. Of course I'm this woman. Of course I feel this confidence. Of course people look to me as the expert. Of course I get paid this much. Because you actually can hold this and know that you're worthy of this, that you're capable of this, that you're good enough for this, right? It's this real sense of, fuck yes, I am that bitch confidence. Take sacral chakra, where you're desiring more polarity in your sex life, that masculine, feminine attraction, polarity, you feeling like you're a fucking snack that gets eaten up, feeling sexy, feeling good within your own skin, within your own body, really loving this body that you're in, and attracting, really great sex. Whether you're in a relationship right now, wanting to enhance it, or attracting a new relationship, or just, intimate partners if you're not committed to anyone in particular. That starts with you healing your own yoni, your own connection to your sexuality, to this part of your body in particular. Healing any numbness, healing past trauma, because so many women, unfortunately, and it is fucking unfortunate, it's sad, but so many women do have sexual trauma. And healing as well, like within our yoni, within our womb, we take on the energy of all of the partners that we let into our body. The imprint of that. unless you know how to consciously not do that. But when you didn't know, you didn't know until you heal it. With, for example, a de-armoring practice, with a wand or even with your fingers, you know. And so you healing your own sacral, opening up that, connecting into your divine feminine, means that now you naturally are just magnetic for that kind of attraction and polarity and sexual energy, because that's just how you're showing up. So that's just what you call in, right? Like there's so many ways that this can play out, so many examples, but it's basically healing your chakras. And you know, using chakra alchemy shifts your frequency. Shifting your frequency shifts your reality and what you manifest. Simple as that, my love. So I'm hoping that you have absorbed all of this information and it's landing and resonating, and you're like, ooh, I want to explore my own chakras, because let me just say, you won't regret it. And it will change everything for the better. Yes, there will be moments that are messy and hard and confusing, and you know, healing and changing your life and showing up for yourself more isn't always a smooth, easy, fun process. It's not perfect. It won't be perfect, but it's not perfect for me either. It's not perfect for the other women in this community either. It's not perfect, my love, and that's okay. It's so okay that it's not perfect. It's not supposed to be. It's just about the journey, letting it unfold and continuing to show up and choose yourself, choose your dharma, choose being devoted to you, to your mission, to why you are here, the life that you want to live. So if you want to explore your chakras deeper, and if you want to actually come and experience chakra alchemy, then there are two main ways that I want to suggest that you do so. I forgot to say it before, but chakra alchemy, in terms of what this modality actually is, like I said, I've created it. And so it's a combination of chakra healing, using Reiki, for example, with breath work, subconscious reprogramming, and embodiment as well. So mind, body, soul, subconscious, somatic, and soul really infused together to have this holistic approach to unblocking your energy, healing your nervous system, moving from survival mode to creator mode, manifesting what you desire and the life that you're here to live, and really deepening your devotion to your divine feminine, to your dharma. And I'm just like, oh, as I say this, because like I just love this so much, and I love the women that I get to serve and work with, and you know, just that I get to have this podcast and have these conversations. It just makes me so happy. So thank you for being here listening. And you can go to the link in the show notes if you want to book in a one-on-one session with me for 75 minutes. I have the option to do a chakra alchemy session together. So one-on-one for $222, you can book in, and there'll be a combination of coaching and chakra alchemy. So very unique experience, personalized to you, which is why one-on-one is so amazing. But if you are at the point of just wanting to explore your chakras more, if you have a specific chakra blockage that you can identify, that you want some support with, if you have something that you're wanting to manifest and you're wanting support with actually bringing this to life and moving through fear or resistance or confusion in that, then coaching and the chakra healing will be so empowering for you. So if you head to the link in the show note, you can book it in. Afterpay, and if you're in Australia, Zip Pay is also available to make it easier for you. If you're wanting to go deeper, like the full embodied experience of chakra alchemy in a shorter amount of time, the BAM, the oh damn, BAM, oh damn experience, I don't know where that came from, then the retreat, She Awaken the Retreat, August 21st to 30th is where it's at. This retreat is literally going through each of the 7 chakras, day by day, a whole day devoted to a chakra, where we're going to be moving root chakra to crown chakra, survival mode to creative mode, your divine feminine, your sexuality, your confidence, your personal power, your love, your self-love, your love for others, your self-worth, your self-expression, your authenticity, your creativity, your intuition, your connection to your highest self, your connection to your dharma, to source, really moving through and releasing the trauma responses and the patterns and the identities that simply aren't serving you, the ways of living that aren't your truth as you step deeper into this next evolution of living your Dharma, of being embodied in your divine feminine, in your authentic expression, being who you came here to be, living life on your terms, living your desires as your normal reality, feeling so damn empowered in that. So, Spots Unlimited, it's going to be one hell of an experience, one hell of a 10 days. And obviously, it's not just all work, it's not just all serious. We're going to be having fun, exploring Bali, plenty of relaxing time, dancing, sisterhood connection, getting to really meet and connect with women from around the world and make new sister connections, explore Bali, like I said, getting to actually see Ubud and other bits and pieces and some fun surprises, and just have a week and a half in devotion to you. So if you are interested, I suggest that you act fast because their spots are very limited and I don't want you to miss out. So you can head to the link in the show notes to see more information, to book in a clarity call, or just DM me on Instagram. And if you love this episode, if you love learning about the chakras, your feedback really helps me know, what to share more of on the podcast. So please feel free to reach out on Instagram at Storm Journey and let me know. Let me know you loved it. Let me know how it resonated for you. And please, it always makes a difference. And I really appreciate when you take a screenshot and share it to your Instagram story and tag me and tag the podcast as well at sheawaken_. So, all my love, I cannot wait to connect with you soon. And I'll see you in the next episode.